welcome. It's a kind of special episode of the halftime show.
What special episode is it?
This is the Bowl Madness episode.
BowlMania!
Yes.
We're going bowling.
Really quickly,
Actually,
my name is Jesse Brusteris. You can follow me at Brusteris.
Tim Soper, T Soper 63.
Yes. So let's jump into it.
Jumping right into bowl predictions?
That's to come. That's to come. But
And I believe
bowls
we
were
had
announced.
a special guest picker
Yes.
for bowls.
Yes, which of course we will get to here in just a little bit. But college football playoffs, the teams were announced. The rest of the bowl games have been announced. And Tim, it's just like we thought.
Exactly how I
Yeah.
thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Alabama, a little out of order, but Alabama, Ohio State. Actually, it's Clemson, Ohio State, then Washington.
Yeah. So, did they get it right?
I think so. I mean, there's no right or wrong way to do it. The only way to fix it is to expand the playoff.
It's true.
But
Now,
with the
if they do
14
expand, real quick, if they do expand it, 6-team or 8-team?
8 with
8.
the 5 Power 5 conference champions, the best group of 5, 1 and 2 wild cards.
All right. Yeah, no, I totally agree. But, I mean, just jumping right into it, semifinals were announced. It's going to be Washington versus Alabama and Ohio State versus Clemson. Starting off with Washington versus Alabama, do you give Washington any sort of chance?
They'll give them a run, but it seems anytime Alabama is in any close game, third quarter happens, and there goes the tide. So
Yeah.
I'll give that one to Alabama. Early projection.
Yeah. Like I mentioned last week, a kid that I went to high school with is the wide receiver coach for the University of Florida, who played Alabama in the SEC title game. And he posted to Facebook that just standing next to the Alabama players, there's a stark difference. He said Alabama is just full of grown men. Just young men that are just full grown. And they're just on another stratosphere in the SEC. So I want to root for Washington in this game because
I'll root for Washington hard.
I love Washington's story this year. I love the Pac-12 story this year with Washington and Washington State and Colorado finally kind of coming back up into prominence, if you will.
And Oregon doing nothing.
And like the usual suspects of the Pac-12, Stanford, USC, Oregon, just nowhere to be seen. Well, except for USC.
USC made the Rose Bowl.
Yes. And then Ohio State versus Clemson.
That's going to be a good game.
That is going to be an epic. That's going to be reminiscent of Ohio State, Michigan, in my opinion. That's going to be the game of the playoffs to me. So who do you like in that game?
Still got Ohio State. They're a really good team. And, Clemson's good. Deshaun Watson is a great player. If it weren't for Lamar Jackson, it would probably be the Heisman winner.
Okay.
I think it'll be a good game, but I wouldn't be shocked if Clemson wins.
Yeah. To me, this game is up in the air because the Big Ten this year, just
The best conference.
by far the best conference. They had what, 5-6 teams in the top 10, pretty much.
4.
Okay, but I mean, like consistently, we had like 5 or 6 teams in the top 25.
Yeah.
Top 15, really, most of the year. So, I mean, the haters of the Big Ten that always say that the Big Ten is a joke and all of that, I mean, we kind of proved them wrong this year.
We'll find out in the bowls because of the New Year's 6 bowls, Big Ten has 4 of the 12 spots.
Yeah, so I think we both like Alabama.
Speaking of which,
Washington.
little off subject.
Sure.
Speaking of Big Ten, saw this on a news article. Big Ten volleyball doing really good.
Really?
The Sweet 16, if you will, of volleyball.
Mm.
Big Ten has 6 teams in there.
Nice.
So there you go. Iowa, not one of them, but
Right. So we both like Alabama to win. Who do you have winning?
I think Ohio State.
So we both have Ohio State winning. So this is your prediction for the winner of the playoffs Who do you like? Alabama, Ohio State?
Like, you don't go against them. I'm sorry.
I'm actually going Ohio State. I think if there's going to be one team not named Clemson that can hang with Alabama, it's going to be Ohio State. Obviously, like Washington, as amazing of a year as they've had, they're not going to stand a chance against Alabama.
No.
But a team like Ohio State, or obviously we're not going to see it, but a Michigan or a Clemson, those teams can stand with Alabama.
The water bottle broke.
Oh no!
Look at that.
Oh no!
Sorry.
But no, so I actually like Ohio State to quote unquote get the upsets. So you have Alabama?
Yes.
All right. And as he was alluding to a little bit ago, we have a special person that predicted some of these
Should I go
games.
get him?
No. He's not going to join in.
I will.
He will not join in. I'm telling
Transition
you.
time.
No, there's no transition. He's not doing it.
Hey, Matt. You want to join our show to give your picks? No.
That's what I thought.
Please? Doesn't hurt to ask.
All right, and cutting back, like I said, he's not going to join us. But Matt Heinrichs, sports editor for the Dickinson County News, a local newspaper here in town, or here in the area, should I say. I asked him earlier some of his picks that we're going to go through, and he also picked Alabama. So I am in the minority in picking Ohio State to win the national title. As we go into the other notable bowl games, I decided, you know what, we're not going to do a full 42 bowl pick'em, but I grabbed some notable games, and we're going to get your input, because I've already made my predictions. Matt's already made his predictions. So we can talk about a little about them if you want. But we start with Houston versus San Diego State in the Las Vegas Bowl.
I'll go with Houston. Quarterback Greg Ward Jr. Pretty good quarterback.
All right. Wait, who'd you pick again? I'm sorry.
Houston.
So we all three have picked Houston. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Some of these I'm not going to have
You're just
really
guessing.
any say. I just kind of picked. Next, Minnesota versus Washington State in the Holiday Bowl.
Washington State.
Yeah, as much as I like Minnesota, being
Matt
from
go with
Minnesota, Matt did go with Minnesota.
I wonder if Matt could get tickets to the Holiday Bowl with Cody Pogue playing.
I wonder.
Former Spirit Lake player that Matt covered. Plays for
Yeah.
Minnesota.
Exactly.
So he kind of went with a homer pick, I'm sure.
He did. He said, call me a homer, but I'm picking Minnesota. But yeah, I think Washington State's going to be too much for Minnesota. Baylor versus Boise State in the Cactus Bowl.
Boise State.
Going Boise State.
They have a really good running back. I can't think of his name, but he's like setting some records over there.
Yeah. Matt chose Baylor. I also chose Baylor.
Well, you're both wrong.
Boise State is Boise State. Boise State is a good team. They're not as good as they have been in past years. But Baylor's really kind of rose in the last few years.
Imagine if we had the playoff system when Boise State was prominent.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That would have been fun.
That would have been amazing. All right. West Virginia versus Miami of Florida in the Russell Athletic Bowl.
West Virginia.
Yeah.
They were a couple wins away from winning the Big 12, and man, they put a stomping on Iowa State the other.
Yeah. Yeah. It's West Virginia. I'm not. I've been noted to be a Miami hater. My roommate is a diehard Miami Hurricanes fan.
The U?
Yes, he loves the U. And so last year we watched Miami lose to Washington State, and he still won't live that down. He just keeps saying, "Oh, it's just that one bad penalty call."
I mean, to be fair, for a while losing to Washington State was bad.
Yes.
Now it's not so bad.
No. But yeah, so I chose West Virginia. Matt also chose West Virginia.
Is that mic on? Okay.
Yes, mic is on. Next up, we got Arkansas versus Virginia Tech in the Belk Bowl.
Ooh, I'm going to go with Virginia Tech on this one.
Going VT.
They didn't really They kind of hung with Clemson a little bit in the ACC championship, not much.
I mean, they hung around for what, 3.5 quarters, pretty much?
But yeah, they had a decent showing, and
Yeah.
they won their division, so I'll give that one to Virginia Tech.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm actually going Arkansas.
Or Kansas.
Arkansas. I mean, they had a really good year also. They were ranked pretty decently at the beginning of the year, kind of slipped as the season progressed.
Your mid-level SEC team.
Yes.
Good team, just in the SEC.
And to me, it's like still mid-level SEC team beats most ACC teams, in my opinion. I mean, because what, ACC, you have Clemson, you have Florida State, and you have Virginia Tech. That's pretty much it. So, but yeah, so I'm going to Arkansas. Next up, Oklahoma State versus Colorado in the Alamo Bowl.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
That's a great game.
It's an amazing game.
I'm gonna go. I'll go Oklahoma State actually.
All right.
Big 12 team. I mean, they didn't really have a chance at the playoff, but gives them a chance to shine. And seeing what Colorado didn't do in the Pac-12
Right.
championship kind of lost a lot of steam in my mind.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it to Oklahoma State.
I'm actually going the opposite. I'm going Colorado. I think that they have a chip on their shoulder with that poor performance that they had in the Pac-12 championship. I mean, you know, they're one of the big 2-loss teams. I think they're at 3 losses now, right?
Yes.
But I mean, like, for the most part, they were like one of those big 2-loss teams that maybe could have snuck into the playoffs if like a team like Virginia Tech kind of messed everything up. So yeah, I like Colorado because they have a chip on their shoulder. Matt also went with Colorado. By the way, Matt went with VTech also.
Okay.
The last one. Nebraska versus Tennessee in the Music City Bowl. A couple of teams that were pretty prominent the first half of the season and then quickly declined.
I'll go with Tennessee on that one.
What Tennessee?
Dobbs, great quarterback again.
Yeah.
Don't know where he went. Just kind of they ran into the tough part of their schedule.
Yeah.
I think.
Because what, didn't they play like Alabama and then God,
they just got
Georgia,
trounced. Texas A&M they lost
Yep.
to. So I think Tennessee's going to win that one. I watched Nebraska play. Yes, they were battling some injuries. Watched them play live, and they did not look like the 8th ranked team at one point.
No.
this year. I had never bought into that hype.
Yeah. To me, like, obviously, we both live in Iowa. We're both Hawkeyes fans. They kind of reminded me of Iowa last year. Kind of way too high ranked for their own good.
But almost on a worse scale.
Yes. Because, you know, like, it would have been awesome to see Iowa in the college football playoff.
Literally a minute and a half away from being in it.
Yes.
Stop it. You're bringing up bad feelings.
I know. Like, okay, so my story about that game, I was at Chaplain, which is a local bar in the Iowa Great Lakes area. We were doing karaoke, and the game was on, and everybody was just focused on that game. And as soon as Michigan State scored, you could just feel the energy and air get sucked out of the bar. It was so bad.
When I was watching it, it was when they were hitting about the 30-yard line with only 4 minutes left. I was like, we're not getting this ball back, are we?
No.
Bad memories.
But yeah, I'm also going with Tennessee. Matt went with Nebraska. You want to get that door? Just kind of opened on its own. There we go.
Spooky.
Too spooky. Hashtag. Okay. Next up, Florida State versus Michigan in the Orange Bowl.
Oh, that's a good game. Oh my gosh, I love bowl season.
I know.
I'm gonna go with Florida State on this one.
All right.
I don't think Harbaugh's gotten over that loss, and I'm not a big Harbaugh fan. And I'm really into that freshman quarterback DeAndre Francois for Florida State. I think he's gonna have a good future. Not quite Jameis Winston like,
Right.
but I think Florida State's gonna get this one done. Jimbo Fisher.
I am going with Nebraska, Tennessee. Matt went went with Nebraska.
Homer.
I am going with Michigan. I think Michigan, even if they're not in the playoffs, they're still one of the best teams in college football. I mean, obviously, with the Ohio State loss, it was disheartening, but I don't think that they really lost too much of their swagger, if you will, because it went into, double overtime?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that they just bounce back and they annihilate a Florida State team who has a good young quarterback, but really isn't the same as we saw like a few years ago. So yeah, I have Michigan in that. Matt also picked Michigan. So we have the Louisville Cardinals versus the LSU Tigers in the Citrus Bowl. Basically, you have Lamar Jackson versus the LSU defense.
And Leonard Fournette. I'll go with Louisville on this one. LSU was pretty disappointing this year. Lamar Jackson is on another world when it comes to college football. His stats this year were insane. So I'll give it to the Cardinals.
All right. I'm actually taking LSU. Despite the disappointing season, they still have one of the best defenses in college football. And Lamar Jackson kind of stumbled at certain points this season against good defenses. So I think that he stumbles again, especially on this big of a stage at this young, at this point in his career. I think he stumbles, but he comes back next year.
Do you think he comes back? Do you think he goes draft? Sophomore.
Is he a sophomore? No,
Yeah.
I think he comes back.
Okay.
I think he comes back and will lead Louisville to possibly a playoff appearance.
Okay.
But yeah, so I have LSU and their defense. Matt also chose Louisville. Now, ready for the big one?
Sure.
Well, this isn't the big one.
Big one for us,
Because
probably.
we still have a couple more to talk about after this. Florida Gators versus the Iowa Hawkeyes. Outback Bowl.
I'll go Iowa. The hot streak they're on.
Yeah.
It's kind of what they should have done all year.
Yeah. There was kind of some high hopes for us this year.
And the way Florida didn't show up in the SEC championship.
I mean,
I'm not saying Iowa's going to do much better.
Right. But I mean, what else did you expect going up against Alabama?
Them to show up.
No.
But I think Iowa's going to do good. They have good Outback Bowl history. Even though Florida has quite the home field advantage being played in Florida.
Yeah.
But I think Iowa gets it done.
Matt also chose Iowa. My heart says Iowa, but I'm going Florida. I just think
Homer.
Yeah.
Homer.
No, I just think that Florida is going to be too much. This has nothing to do with for like high school friends being the wide receiver coach. I just think Florida is going to be too much for Iowa. It's not going to be a blowout like last year was for Iowa. I think Iowa still keeps it competitive, but I see Florida winning it by like 14. Then we have the Rose Bowl, Penn State versus USC.
I'm going to go Penn State.
Right?
The comeback win against Wisconsin was what said a lot to me.
Yes.
So yeah, I think they're going to beat USC.
Yes, I listened to that game at work. I was actually flipping back and forth between like the Clemson VTech game.
We have 9 minutes till we have class.
Oh,
Okay.
I mean, I was flipping back and forth between like the Clemson VTech game and then Penn State Wisconsin, when both of them were still like super competitive. And the way Penn State got it done was really good. So you're going Penn State?
Yes.
I'm actually going USC.
Are you?
I think that USC is playing some of the best football in the nation right now, despite the 3 losses that they've had this year. I think USC gets it done over Penn State. I think they just kind of overpower Penn State. Matt also chose Penn State, or not Penn State, but USC. And obviously Matt chose Iowa too, because I forgot to mention
You did say that.
Did I?
Yeah.
All right. And then, finally, we have the David versus Goliath matchup we've been waiting for. Wisconsin versus Western Michigan in the
Okay.
Cotton Bowl.
You know what? I'm Wisconsin. No, Western Michigan will put up a fight, but Wisconsin's defense
Yeah.
is insane.
I really don't.
I am shocked Penn State did that to him, honestly.
Yeah.
But I think that was more of a testament to how good Penn State is.
Yeah. I don't see Western Michigan pulling it off like a Houston or a Boise State or a TCU or a Hawaii, just to like name like the last few, kind of
Decent.
David versus Goliath stories. Western Michigan has had an amazing year though, being like one of only two undefeated teams.
2 undefeated teams.
Besides Alabama. But yeah, Wisconsin's going to be too much for him. So that's it for the bowl predictions. Then we also have the winner of the college football playoff, which we went over. You and Matt took Alabama. I took Ohio State. There we have it. We have it on record. That is the bowl predictions. And that's really all we have except for our regular predictions. And
Are we doing our NFL top 5 or not?
Nah, not this week.
Okay.
We're kind of running out of time. We're cutting it close with our next class. But really quickly, Tim dominated last week's predictions to improve his record to 12-4, while I stumbled and my record is now at 9-7. So I'm still over 500 though. So here we go. Predictions this week. Thursday Night Football. We have Oakland versus Kansas City. Who do you got?
Oakland. I think Oakland's the best team in that division, and I think they're going to continue
All right.
to be that way.
I like Oakland also. I think that they're the best team. They're the best team in the best division in football.
Not necessarily the best team in football, but
Right.
best team in the best division.
Right, yeah. So, yeah, I like Oakland too. Next up, we have Monday Night Football, Baltimore versus New England.
New England.
New England?
Yeah.
I'm going to say New England, but it's going to be a closer game than people think.
Mm-hmm.
I think Baltimore's finally hitting their stride. They took first place in the division, didn't they?
Yeah, I think
Yeah. So,
in the horrible AFC North.
right. So, yeah, I like New England also. Next up, we have Dallas versus the New York Giants, Sunday Night Football. Dallas just clinching NFC South?
No, just playoff spot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they've clinched their playoff spots.
I think Dallas still wins this one, though. They're going to need revenge for their only loss in the year
Yeah.
against New York.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say Dallas gets the division and gets the win and gets closer to clinching the division.
Yeah. All right. I like Dallas also. I am the bandwagon fan this year because God, the Jets.
Speaking of the Jets, last night, what happened?
41-10. That's what happened. But hey, we're starting Bryce Petty for the rest of the year, which is awesome. All right. Number 25, Iowa State versus Iowa. Iowa State ranked number 25 at 6-2 on the year. Iowa at 3-5. This is college basketball we're talking about. Who do you like in that Thursday night game?
I want to go Iowa. I'm going to call the upset in Carver.
All right. I'm a Hawkeyes fan, but I'm going Iowa State. I think Iowa State is the basketball team in the state, besides like Northern Iowa. But I mean, out of those two, Iowa State is obviously the better basketball team. So yeah, I like Iowa State, which is good because that's the first game that we've actually chose different. So, then finally, Saturday, we have the MLS Cup Finals. Toronto FC, who is sitting at 14-9-11 with 52 points, going up against the Seattle Sounders, who went 14-14-6 with 48 points this year. Who do you like in that?
Go Seattle Sounders.
Yeah,
They had a pretty good surge at the end of the year,
they did.
and their nice run through the playoffs has been nice to watch.
Yeah.
And I just love their home crowd because they're absolutely bonkers.
Yes.
But I'm going to go Seattle.
All right. I'm actually going Seattle also. I think that they finally get it done. Really quickly, we are just like this much closer to Minnesota soccer. I'm so excited. If you guys haven't heard the news, Minnesota got their own MLS team. They start in the MLS next year. They're bringing up the North American soccer team.
Yeah, Minnesota United FC.
Yeah, they're bringing them up to the MLS, which is awesome. So that's it for this special episode of the halftime show.
BowlMania.
BowlMania. Next week we will probably have a shorter show, being a final week. But we'll try and get something up, maybe discuss our projections, and then get one last predictions for the year in before we call it a semester. And then we'll be back, mid-January pretty much.
Probably.
Yeah. But I am Jesse Bresteris. You can follow me at Bruce Steris.
Tim Soper, T Soper 63.
Yeah. And that's it for the halftime show. Let's take you back to the third quarter. Have a good week, everyone.
Microphone off.